in Trinidad while I was waiting. I joined a dating app and I put my location where I was going to live.
Right,
And
makes sense.
girl, that was genius.
This episode was brought to you by Rue. Move through the world without fear. Filter and find your perfect immigration professional. Hey, Kelly's here. If you don't already, you definitely need to head over to Instagram and follow me at Kelly's Travels for live tapings of the podcast and much more. See you there.
Wasn't
Just on the questions. Just on the juicy questions. You see how it is? Only that. As soon as I want to ask for my business.
So, somebody, you get right back into it, though. You get no opportunity here to collect yourself. You get right back into it. So, tell us your opinions on dating, right? Because you're single, so we could ask you these questions, right? And someone wants to know about interracial dating. Because you have a lot more options here, right? Go for it.
Yeah.
But if you don't tell them your business, tell them you're not talking about it or no. I'm hearing you. Let me hear.
Okay. Y'all see me good?
Yeah, I see you.
Yeah. All right. So here what I did, right? So my situation was that, speaking from my experience, right? My situation was a little bit different in the sense that I was stuck in Trinidad. Okay, so let me tell you this. Let me backtrack.
Yeah.
I was supposed to migrate to Canada in 2020. So I got my documents, my COPR, if you're familiar, confirmation of permanent residence, to migrate to Canada in January of 2020, right before my birthday, my 29th birthday. The girl already mapped out and she had, by the time I turned 30, I settled in Canada. I good. You understand?
Big plans.
COVID had bigger plans. So, January 2020, I got my COPR right before my birthday. So for my 29th birthday, big hurrah! It's my farewell one time. Deuces, all I love, all goodbye, right? My ticket book for me. Girl, my ticket book for Edmonton, ticket booker, paid for, done in May 2020. Could you imagine the sick feeling I felt when I see this thing called COVID coming out in March? Completely, well, how ironic that of all times I'm going to uproot myself, that something in this world happened that cut off countries completely. No flights, everything, flight cancelled, everything. And then it happened for a year plus. Look, I landed in August 2021. You understand? That's a year and a half. Yeah, it's a year and a half, right?
Our Village is a networking community for Caribbean immigrants living in Canada. It's perfect for persons pursuing immigration, as well as persons who have already landed in Canada, and also first to third generation Caribbean immigrants. To find out more about the benefits and features of joining Our Village, visit ourvillage.com and find out how you can join waiting.
So, that situation was real testing. A girl, I wouldn't lie. So so I remember I was ready to leave the job and everything else already. I did. And then I got a new job, thank God, and I had no idea what was going on, because all I know is that while I stuck in Trinidad, I don't know when I'm going to leave. So anyway, so what I did while I was waiting to feel as if it is that I was connected still to Canada, because I felt like if I was stuck here, like
in limbo,
1 foot out.
Yeah, in limbo, yeah.
And you want to socialize, you feel like it's like your life get pushed back a year behind. You know, you're feeling like you're displaced. Everything that I had planned for that, okay, well, your girl's going to be set up, you know, probably something gonna happen on single by something gonna happen. Yeah, and by that time, if I had migrated to that 29. So I say, wait, boy, that real hit me. I'm feeling like, you know, I'm saying goodbye to my friends here. I can't even date here because I know I'm leaving at some point in time, but I don't even know when. My document expired on me. I had no skill. So what I did, let me come back. What I did as a single person in Trinidad while I was waiting was that I joined Listen, I joined a dating app. And I put my location where I was going to live.
Right, and makes sense.
Girl, that was genius. Because you know why? By the time I reached here, I already had prospects.
Because they chatting with people for over a year now, right?
You understand, it gets into know people, like it didn't feel unfamiliar. Like it kind of like kicks in already, you know?
Right.
So that was something, and somebody actually was the one that told me about that and told me to do that, because it's this particular app. I wonder if I could call it here because I want to help out everybody.
Hinge, right?
Hinge.
Okay.
I set up Hinge. Some of you are familiar with Tinder. I prefer it because I feel it's a little bit more mature than that. I feel people more serious on that platform. But yeah, it's a platform. People are the same wherever they are. You can meet somebody in the bar. You can meet somebody in our market. You can meet somebody on our platform on the internet. And if it is that you're meeting the person, you can't blame the platform. You know, the platform does get the bad rap for the bad people that's on there. But it have good people on there as well. And I would be honest about that. So yeah, that's what I did before I even landed in Canada. And so I'm still single, but it did give me an idea of the type of men that would be here. Yes. And yes.
Something else you wanted to say? Like, I feel like if there was more you wanted to say, like,
it is you know, a next thing too is that man is man. I'm not bashing. I know that's what you want to say. No, but listen to what I'm saying. Man is man. Regardless of the boundaries or where they live or whatever, of course they will have different influences, like the culture and how they grew up and stuff like that. But mankind is mankind. And but the good thing about being in somewhere that is bigger than Trinidad and Tobago is that you have more options, so that you tend to put up less. Your tolerance tends to be less when it's seeing little signs. You tend to be like, I don't need this, you know, and then on to the next. You know what I mean? So that has been I would say the benefits of it has been like a very liberating experience. You new faces, you new to them new to you, you know, so it really is exciting. It is exciting, and they are good guys out there. I didn't mean anything bad by man is man. I just said that the same type of people that you're meeting in Trinidad, you can very well bounce them up in Edmonton, Alaska, New York. Is the same type of people. The only difference is that it is more options that you have. So you don't in a smaller country, you tend to put up more with things that you
because your options limited.
Because your options limited. When in a bigger country, you know, the world is your oyster.
You know what? I just want to say earlier, just give me some fire emojis in here, because I really thought you were going to tell them mind the damn business. I really thought you was coming to tell them me and talking about that with that question. So some fire emojis. Yes, thank you so much, because I think a lot of people got some value from that. Right? So thank you for answering the question and being so real and open with us. Right? So how was the process for reapplying for your confirmation of permanent residency? How was that? Because you mentioned that you basically lost it, right? Because of COVID. How was that?
Yeah. So my documents expired on me while in the middle of COVID. And the immigration department, I feel, was so overwhelmed with COVID that, remember, they're dealing with all sorts of different things that they never had the manpower to deal with, that they probably didn't even have the knowledge to deal with, that they had to pass a lot of different things to even figure out how to deal with the new things that they were dealing with COVID. During that time, I feel as if that, and I would say this, I feel as if expired documents was put on their back burner. Because
of course,
I am not.
You get through already. You can wait, and you're not traveling now anyway because you're still on lockdown. So it's like you can wait.
I was not on their priority. And
Right.
they were not communicating as effectively as I would have wanted to, because remember, I was just up in the air. You know, I left a job in between COVID, you know, without having any security. Thank God I got another job that I loved, and it was out. But a lot of things happened and I had no kind of guarantee or date or anything to know when it is or how to go about doing it. So what I did to go through that process, because I didn't know anything, and a lot of people didn't know anything either. What I did, and it was so helpful, was that I joined Facebook groups. Because I felt as if it is that I was this lone person in Trinidad with an expired document trying to get into Canada. You don't have a community, and community support when you're going through something like this. People bouncing off knowledge and people sharing their experiences and giving you some form of insight. And you know, it always have one person in that group that might know something more first, and they that you might not be able to know. Listen, and I know you have your village, and that's what, and I'm so glad that you have something like that, because community support when you're going through something like this is so crucial and it's so helpful, because it made the year and a half that I was stuck in Trinidad for much more comfortable than if it is I had no kind of nobody else. I didn't know nobody else that had expired documents. That would I get out of go crazy, out of go mad. So being in a community, in a space with people like me, you know, people from all over the world, with people from India, people from Africa, everywhere, but it just felt so familiar that okay, I have somebody somewhere that don't know something, just like how I don't know something, and they might even be worse off. You know, they might have kids that they may have pulled out of school. They might have had a husband that quit his job because he was expecting to migrate to. A lot of people were stranded, and so it just felt good to be in a community where it's that y'all share the same experiences, you know, and also y'all kind of bounced off ideas or bounced off, you know, we had petitions to the government to make us be seen, all these different things, and you know, there's power in number. So yeah, so
I'm so happy you say there's power in numbers, eh? Oh God, I'm so happy you say that, because that is the kind of energy we need. That's the kind of energy we need amongst Caribbean people. There's power in numbers. Each Caribbean island so small on its own, but then when you think about Caribbean, it's all of us together, right? I like this energy. Yes, big up to the village. All the village people on here like, yes. All right, okay. So what challenges, besides being stuck with COVID, what was like some of the major challenges of the application process?
That I could think of, the major challenge, the English test.
You did IELTS?
IELTS.
How was that for you?
Yeah. Girl, I passed it, right? Like, and I think I'm good at English, right? But I passed it straight through. Not to scare anybody, you could pass it. I didn't practice or anything like that. So let me be honest too with that too. I did not practice. I went, remember I told you my passion wasn't there. And that's the first step you had to do. So my passion to migrate was low. So I was just seeing what could have happened, you know? And I got through. So if I could do it, I would say other people could do it as well. But don't be discouraged if it is that you're doing it the first time or the second time, because I did communication, so my postgrad. I think I'm good at English, and yeah.
Okay.
That was something I would say. Try as much as you can, practice. I know we have some online practice things that you can do online. I would say try doing that. Most importantly, familiarize yourself with the format of it. I think the format of it is important, so at least you know what to expect. The questions, they change, so they can't really, you know, prepare for it. But I would say most importantly, don't be discouraged if it is that you don't get through the first time, because it was not an easy thing. So
somebody said IELTS easy and it's easy to fail too.
What? IELTS is easy and easy
Somebody
to
say
fail.
IELTS easy and it's easy to fail too. That is very true.
Exactly how to describe it, because the question's so simple but then it's not. You know what? I don't know how else to explain it. It's like you would think that, yeah, I can get through, you know, blow through this, but then it also making you pause at the same time too. What I would say is that, I don't know if this was your experience, Khalees, is that I would say that they don't test you on the English that we grew up on in secondary school. I feel as if they test you is more on how well you can integrate into Canada with the English that you have. It's not if it is that you are English teacher, or, you know, if you excel at the subjects of English. It's really how well you could understand, interpret, how it's really using the discretion, like things like that. Is more skills like that they're looking for in that English exam than really.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You get a distinction in English in secondary school.
Yeah, I can agree with that, because I got full points in my IELTS. Just to put that out there. Because the girls study hard.
Okay.
I know what the difference is. When I did IELTS at that time, I didn't have any dates in Trinidad. So my husband and I had to fly to Caracas, Venezuela to do IELTS. So there was no doing it over. It was like, this was the one opportunity to get it right. Right?
Wow.
And that was just me being hasty, because I didn't want to wait. I think like the nearest date I could have gotten it in Trinidad done was 6 months. It's like, no, that's not working for me, right? So that's why, like, we really studied and I got the full points. But I agree with you, it doesn't necessarily test your ability to be brilliant or smart. It tests your ability to use and understand English. That's it. Yeah. Right? It doesn't test anything else. What was your CRS score? Can you remember?
Well, I have the documents here because I figured somebody would ask.
All right, go for it, girl. Go for it.
CRS. Oh, God.
CRS score, yeah.
Okay, no, that's not what I have. I have it somewhere here, but I think I can remember it. It was, no, let me see if I can find it. It was around 480 something.
480 something, okay.
It was closer to 490. And, yeah, girl, I wonder if I could pull that up for you fast, boy.
The general range tells us a lot. I think my CRS score was like 460 something, 464, something like that, right? I know a lot of people have this concept that it's harder to migrate as a single person compared to a family. A lot of people think that it's actually harder. But just like, and again, there are many different streams of immigration. It just so happened that both of us came through the same stream. But this is not the only stream, and for a lot of you who on this live, 125 people, the majority of you would not come through the stream, right? There are over 80 different streams. So it just so happened that both of us came through the exact same stream. But if you're comparing express entry to express entry, you actually had a better chance of coming to Canada than we did as a family. You know, my husband, I, and 2 kids, because your score was higher than ours. But again, a lot of people think that as a single person, it's actually harder. Because I've heard a lot of people ask me as well, like, if Canada prefers families and if they're biased against single people. But you and I had this conversation, Tamika. And number one reason why Canada wants immigrants, right, is because of the aging population. They need young people to work and pay taxes. Like, let's be real, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, but what is the difference between me moving to Canada with my 2 kids and husband and Tamika moving to Canada? There's no difference. Technically, Tamika could come and have 10 children. Especially if she continues. She should continue it. Right? So, but what I'm saying is that you have the capability of having an entire family. You're a single person in childbearing age. So there's no real difference between you and I. So I don't think that it's really justified. If anyone knows any different, let me know in the comments. But I think like it's really fair in terms of being a single person and being a person with a family in terms of your chances of coming through with express entry in particular. All right? Let me just read the comments. What year did you get those scores? Oh, so what year again did you apply? Did you submit your express entry profile?
2019.
2019.
Because I got the COPR in January 2020. So I did everything in the year of 2019.
Right. That's so strange. I actually landed in Canada in 2019 as well. in May of 2019. I know, that was just COVID.
It's not for COVID.
That was just COVID, guys. Wow. So, you know, like a lot of persons as well. And I think I told the story last week or the week before, but the guy that told me about immigration, he's sick real bad. And he also ended up in the same position as you, where he still hasn't landed in Canada as yet. Because his confirmation expired, but in that time, his passport also expired. And his medical.
Yeah, my medical expired too. Once your COPR expires, your medical expires.
It's medical.
It's the same date that they use to validate your COPR,
right?
Yeah,
so yeah, his passport expired as well. Passport. So, you know, and he still has yet to land. The person who told me about immigration. So, I would say, like, success like speed. There's a saying that's something like that, success like speed. And procrastination. This is a word to the wise with procrastination. A lot of people like they know they qualify right now and they think that they're going to qualify in the next 5 years. That's not necessarily the case. Rules change all the time. What you qualify for today may not qualify for tomorrow. An opportunity open today may not be an opportunity for tomorrow. You know, and rules change all the time. Right? So if it's something you have your heart set on, don't think that the opportunity is just always going to be there. Right? It's not. It's not. Right. What is usually the duration of the medical before it expires? I think your medical is valid for a year. 1 year.
1 year.
At least that is how it is now. Always go back and check on Canada.ca to verify all the information because it changes. Right? Looking for the streams that can be difficult. PNP streams. Okay, that's thing. 6 months. Okay, so how is life in Edmonton as a single person? How is the vibe?
I love it, girl. I love it. No, so in Trinidad, you know, I had a lot of friends, and not just a lot of friends, but I had good friends, like a good, solid social group, and like I said, I really wasn't excited about leaving. So it took a lot more convincing for me to like it because I came here crying, girl. Girl, I was on the plane, girl, 2 weeks before I leave in. I pack in and I cry and I bawl in, can't breathe. Girl, what I mean, like snotty, ugly crying. I'm crying. You understand? And then it's not helping because my friends are so sweet. They were coming and checking me like a month before I leave in, knowing that the date was coming up. They're making sure that they come in and they check in and they pass in and paranging and saying. So it was just making the process really hard. And I was like, what are you really doing? You know, a lot of the times I thought through that whole process and was like, I love carnival. I love carnival. I love doubles. I love street food. I love pilau. I love gyro. I love food home. I love my friends. I love the Caribbean culture. I love the friendliness. I love the warmth. And I still do. And it is scary stepping into the unknown. And then it really, for me to say that I don't regret my decision so far, know that it didn't come from a place of me being excited about it before, and know it came from a place of Canada really needed to convince me that I would have liked this experience because I did not come here happy. I was really sad about my move and I really questioned if it is that I made the right choice. And all my friends and family that I was leaving behind in Trinidad. So for me to say that it was the right choice and I really do enjoy it. I love my friends and I talk to all the time, so they know it don't feel different. So, you know, it don't feel different. With COVID and all, they currently see your friends all that often anyway. So it kind of makes the word smaller. So to be honest, now is the best time to migrate because I feel as if it is that people are already accustomed to now the culture of FaceTiming, of doing lives, of doing things where it is that is over the internet where you don't need physical touch or space to connect. Look at it that I was on the people on them dating platform and I in Trinidad talking to people in Canada like normal, doing Skype cooking dates and doing like movie nights and stuff like that. Your girl was so they want to talk about being single, migrating to Canada, still in. Your girl was doing things, you know. So now with COVID, it actually turned out to be a blessing in disguise. Now with COVID, it actually made the world smaller. So the way how you would have felt when is that you look at your uncle who you're not really so close to that migrate long before when he was probably like 5 and saying, and you don't really talk to him all that often. Like, you know, it's different. It's so easy to still stay connected to people. My friends could be living next to me, could be staying in the next room, and I would be more active seeing what they're up to on social media, seeing what they're updating, so I am in Canada, but I'm still very much connected. So all my friends, they still know all my business on the daily. They still very much involved in my life on the daily. I involved in their life daily because it don't cost nothing. WhatsApp free. Your call's not expensive. You're not losing something. So it's very easy to still, maintain relationships. In what I haven't migrated. So yeah, I really enjoyed my experience so far. And it's not
a lot
that
of
big
people,
of a loss.
Yeah, a lot of people think that Edmonton is rural. Like I think I get it, because a lot of people, when they think about Canada, they think about Toronto. Like Toronto is the whole of Canada, right? And then when they start talking about other provinces, other cities, that's where I think people tend to think that, okay, Edmonton is probably like a one-horse town. So what do you really think of the city of Edmonton? Did it meet expectations? And you thought it would have been more busy, less? But then you live in the suburban as well. You live in suburban town, like myself. See, have you gone downtown? Have you experienced downtown? What do you think about the city?
Yeah, well, so if you're from the Caribbean, right? You will be impressed. Even with Edmonton, you will see, I was impressed just by things like you could order things off of Fashion Nova and Shein and Amazon, and you don't have to have a skybox. Like, that's so neat. That's coming on your doorstep. Amazon van is coming to your doorstep in 2 days. You understand? You can see something online and have it in your house in 2 days. That in itself was like, okay, I get here. No, but it has so much places things that you would see just like any other big city, Walmart,
Costco, all of the major big stores, yeah.
Listen, you have your Sephora's, you have your brand names like your Michael Kors and your Louis Vuitton, and all these different things are so accessible. And I'm talking shopping because that's close to my heart, right? But I'm just saying, like, it has a lot more accessibility to things, even though it's rural,
right?
It's coming from the Caribbean, it was much more access to city-like things that I didn't have access to as easily in Trinidad.
Right. Okay. So, would you recommend someone using an immigration consultant to do immigration? That was a question someone asked.
Yeah.
Did you use an immigration consultant?
No. I
I
don't want to give all the advice that I didn't take. But I feel like here why I would say the pros and the cons, right? The con is money, right? I did it myself, and I remember I said I wasn't enthusiastic about it. So to get me to jump out any more savings than what the bare minimal of the process required, I wasn't going to do it because I wasn't eager. So for me, it was different. That I was just lazy fair about it. If I get through a thing, okay, well, what to do next? I know. I guess I had to do this, and I make a lot of runarounds. Honestly, my process took about a year. If I had a consultant, I could have done it in, I feel like 6 months, because
I had the expertise.
The knowledge and the expertise, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then to know that you have somebody in your corner that's familiar with the process better than you, because when I got stuck in COVID, that's when I really felt alone, and I was like, wait, boy, I wonder if I should really jump up my money now and pay for some kind of consultancy
because they will have access to information that you can't get. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At least I can tell you hold tight, like.
Yeah. Or what developing, or something, some information, because at that point in time, you're anxious. Now you're ready to leave. You're basically 1 foot outside. But even I would say in hindsight, if it is that I did the consultancy, I would have migrated here long even before January 2020.
Consultants. Not all consultants are created equal.
Yeah, but don't be intimidated by the process. If it is that you don't have the resources to hire someone, I did it without hiring anyone. I did it on my own and figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
You can figure it out. Have a lot of information online. Yeah, just link up with somebody or link up with a community or something. Talk to somebody who has done the process already, where they can give you the steps in order. Because I find like the steps are not clear when I was researching it online. I feel like I thought that it would have been the you have to do the application form first, but you don't, because the prerequisite is the IELTS test, and then prerequisite also is then you have to send your documents to get accredited. So it was like a lot of I did the form first to try to apply. I created that first, but no, I wasted my time. By the time I reached the form where it is that they ask for, what is the IELTS results? I was like, what's IELTS? I'm serious. I was like, what's IELTS? What's this thing? And then that's how I figured it out. And then I had to backtrack. So could you imagine how much time I lost in having done that? And I had to start all over and then now look up what's IELTS, look up how it is to send my documents to get accredited, all these different things. So having someone, whether it's a consultant or having someone who is familiar with the process through their own experience, is very important. I had a time I broke down and I was like, listen, I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know how long the process is going to take. I don't know how long the IELTS results going to come back. I don't know how long the West results going to come back. I don't know how long. I don't know how long to expect, and that's a real frustrating phase to be in. Whereas like you don't know who to talk to, you don't know how long things going to take. And so I messaged one of my friends, and he knew someone who just did the process, someone from Barbados who migrated.
Okay. I'm not going to talk. I thought you said he knew someone in immigration. I'm like, what? You full of shit?
No. I don't have a link. I don't have a link. I don't have a link. But I knew someone who just migrated. I didn't even know the person. I didn't even know what the person looked like. I was messaging this man, and he didn't even have a WhatsApp picture for me to even know. I talked to this man for a whole year, and I had no idea what he even looked like. And I was messaging this man almost every day. Okay, well, I do this. So how long this going to take? All right, and the next step, and this. And he was just guiding me through. He's like, all right, well, have a little patience. This might take a little 3 months. And I was like, okay, I could wait 3 months.
At least you
know how long things
at least you know.
Help the process go by. Because then if it's like you do something, and I submit it, you're eager for the results, so you're eager to get some information back. And it could make you go crazy. So I had someone who, a stranger, well, he's my brethren, but he live on another side of Canada.
You finally get to see face though? You ever get to see face?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, I did. A year later. After I'd done already, finished. Then we end up really, but he was real helpful.
Hey guys, Khalees here. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Our Village podcast. You can also check us out on Spotify or Apple Podcast. And of course, you can visit our YouTube channel for more entertaining immigration stories. This episode was brought to you by Rue. Move through the world without fear. Filter and find your perfect immigration professional.
Migrating can be a huge headache. For one thing, you have to do tons of research and stay updated on the ever-changing rules of immigration. You also have to avoid scammers and immigration fraud, and even when you are super careful, you can still fall victim to low-quality consultants that would make you wish you had done it yourself. Plus, there's the challenge of knowing exactly which programs you're qualified for and are competitive in, so that you don't aimlessly go spending money on paths that will not lead to success. As a result, immigration research can turn into a full-time job, leaving many people feeling overwhelmed, hopeless, and discouraged. Fortunately, there's a better way.
Introducing Row Services, a virtual marketplace where you can filter and find your perfect immigration professional, so you can relax, knowing you left your immigration journey to the experts. With Row Services, we'll ensure the identity of your consultant so you can have the peace of mind of knowing exactly who you are talking to. And now you will also have the ability to message your consultant directly on the platform, and you can filter by price, rating, years of experience, and much more. And we'll also give you access to verified reviews from real people who worked with your consultant. That way you can hear what others are saying before opening your wallet. And because we offer a variety of immigration professionals like immigration consultants, lawyers, education consultants, settlement service providers, career coaches and language tutors, you'll never have to worry about being stranded in your immigration journey. But perhaps the best thing of all is that we offer the ability to create and privately share your immigration profile with desired professionals on the platform. This means that you don't need to keep repeating the 5 pages of paperwork every time you decide to work with a consultant. Now your consultant will have access to your Row profile long before they get on a call with you. This way, your call can be focused on strategy, not paperwork.
To learn how Row Services can make your immigration journey hassle-free, speak to one of our representatives today by visiting row.services or by messaging us on WhatsApp 1-803-205-8203.
Row. Move through the world without fear. Build for immigrants. By immigrants.